Thank you very much, Jamie and Leanne, for this humbling experience with the convention. And I also want to say thank you to our team, the SEAL team, to our EDs, Tito Ray, Kuya Ronald, Kuya Joe, with all the SMs and SFA and FAs in our team, and all the students. Thank you very much for the trust. And guys, just such a pleasure to be with you guys today and be sharing our thoughts and what we learn about this business over the years. So let's get started. I want to share to you guys. One sec. There you go. I want to share to you that you don't need to be great to start, but you have to start to be great by Zig Ziglar. And I don't know what happened there, but anyways, it is really true, guys. You don't have to compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 40 or chapter 20, right? So everybody has to start somewhere. And so where do you start? Well, you start with your why, and that's basically our suggestion before you do anything in this business. And there are three levels of why. Number one, whoa. Okay, number one, there are those who do what they do because they want to survive. They just want to be able to help their families get by and want to pay bills, want to be debt free. And once that's taken care of, they move to the next level of why. And there are those who do what they do because they want to thrive and they want freedom. They want to be able to buy their dream house, their dream car, their dream vacation, and they want to create a status. They want to make a name for themselves. So they do what they do because they want to leave some legacy in that industry. And then they move up to the next level, and there are those who do what they do because they are in a crusade. And there are just people who come into this industry and see that there's still a better way of doing things, and because of that, they challenge the status quo, and they're disrupting the industry in the process. And just like what Tesla is doing just like Tesla in what they're doing in the automobile industry, and that's what Apple is doing in the mobile industry when they introduced the iPhone. And guess what? That's what Xperia is doing in this financial industry. And I'm glad that I'm being part of that. And I thank you, Leanne and Jamie, for that. Next, guys, your why is so important because when you have the right why, it will let you endure or tolerate pain when things get tough and ugly, because sometimes it can get tough and it can get ugly. And those who can tolerate pain the most give themselves the highest winning or the highest chance of winning in business and in life. So, do you guys believe that you were born to win? Because if you do, right, you have to. So, but in order for you to be the winner that you are destined to be, you must, number one, plan to win. That's the first thing. And in order for you to be the winner that you are destined to be, again, you must next commit to win. And how do we mean by planning to win? Next is, again, guys, remember, if you don't have a plan, you are planning to fail. So how do we plan to win? I suggest the first step is to create a smart goal. And Brian Tracy talks about this, Jim Rohn talks about this, and I just want to share it to you guys. So SMART means S stands for be specific. Now you must have a clear written goal because that is the first manifestation of an idea. When you have an idea, you want to write it down. You're able to see the idea in a paper, and that's basically in a physical form. That's the first step of manifestation. Second, it must be clear enough that even a 12-year-old kid can understand when they read them. And don't just say, I want a lot of money, because a lot of money is in some place else, somewhere, you know, can be $200 a month. It can be $500 a month. And don't just say, I want a financial freedom, because someone else's financial freedom is probably $1,000 a month. So you got to be specific on what do you really want. Next, it must be measurable. If it is an income, state the dollar amount. And if it is a premium, state the dollar amount. If it's a recruit, you got to state how many people. And state if it's a monthly, or is it a weekly amount, or is it a daily basis amount, right? So next is it must be attainable or achievable. Now, don't get me wrong. Well, I suppose everybody has to um, go for something big. You know what? This is the time when you're coming up with what you really want in life is to suspend reality and use your imagination and go after something that you haven't really done before. But once you get that, firmed up, you have to reduce it to ridiculous. What I'm saying is, it's not to to adjust your goal, but to break it down into smaller pieces where you can do things. So an example to that is basically this. I don't know if you can see that. Numbers are always mixed up. But anyways, reduce it to ridiculous is like this. Let's say you want to achieve your first $100,000 in this business. And so you get a calculator, punch in that number, and divide it by 12 months because that's what you want to earn in that period. So you get 8,333. So how do you earn that? I suppose, let's say, if you're to serve somebody, a family, you can be earning $2,000 if that's how much you're going to earn. So you divide by 8,333 per month. So you get four families a month. And you want to reduce it more or further. So four families divided by 4 weeks. So that means to say that you have to focus one family at a time per week consistently in order for you to get to that 100,000. And again, you can do more than that, but that's the minimum. So, it must be relevant at the same time. I like this saying here. I don't know who that from, who this from. And it says here that there is nothing useless as doing something efficiently that which should not be done at all. So don't just do anything just because of the sake of activity. Always ask this, all right? Is this going to help me achieve my goal? Each and every time you are trying to call somebody, each and every time you meet up with someone or prospect with someone, and especially in your working days or your working hours in your business, you gotta ask these questions all the time. So before I call this person, is this going to help me achieve my goal? If it's helping somebody, does that help you do that? So again, it must be relevant. And lastly, it must be time bound. Because if it's time bound, this will help you have a sense of urgency. It kills procrastination. It will help you value time more. So again, guys, planning to win is being specific. It has to be measurable. It must be attainable, relevant, and time bound. Again, the next step is basically committing to win. You can't just plan up and not committing to something. And this is when you set your non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? I think somebody have shared this from the previous, like yesterday, about non-negotiables. What are your daily calls numbers? You can't just go by with a day without doing these things, right? So these are your non-negotiables. What about your prospecting? You have to put some numbers there. What about your weekly KTPs? You can't just go by with a week that had passed and not doing anything, especially the KTP part. What about your weekly recruiting? How about personal development, growing as a person? Because Jim Rohn said success is something you attract by the person you become. And lastly, what are your weekly trainings? And again, these are the things that are non-negotiables. And I suggest you guys attend, those amazing trainings on a weekly basis, like what Jamie is doing and what Frank is doing as well, and your respective EDs at the same time. Again, guys, remember that reason why people don't put themselves in a position to fail, because they value other people's opinion too much. Again, remember, failure is an event, not a person, and sometimes people get this mixed up. So again, I like what Napoleon Hill said about failure. Every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. So indeed, failure, guys, is an opportunity for us to know what to do and not what to do so that we can be wiser next time. It is also an opportunity for us to grow and improve our some weaknesses along the way. Failure is an opportunity as well to discover your blind spot and make sure, in order for you to minimize those blind spot, this is what I suggest. Find yourself a mentor. Those are people who are expert and successful in their field. And instead of going through the longer process, you can actually, shorten the process of getting the ideas from someone else's experience. And then, of course, be coachable when you have a mentor. And again, guys, that's all I want to share to you this morning. And again, once again, thank you very much, Jamie and Leon, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you again to our team who's putting up those numbers for getting us to the top 10, to all the EDs, to all the SMs and SFAs. And of course, I want to just say thank you to my wife, Diane, and to our kids. Thank you very much because you inspire us, or me, a lot. Thank you very much, guys. God bless.
Hey, if you like this video or any of the other videos that I have on my channel, stay tuned. We have so many more coming, but I want to make sure that you're in the know, that you know when they're coming. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell.